As mechanical keyboards continue to gain traction with gamers, typists, and other groups of people who use keyboards in their everyday lives, the marketplace for mechanical keyboards has become a very crowded place to compete in. While we've all seen keyboards from well-known manufacturers like Ducky, Corsair, and Cooler Master, I've always wondered how products from smaller competitors fared in the keyboard arena. So when the kind folks over at ECOOPRO offered to send me the GEEZER Backlit mechanical gaming keyboard, which retails for a very reasonable $66, I naturally took them up on their offer. Now that the keyboard is in my hands, let's take a look at the GEEZER and see just how good a keyboard from a lesser known manufacturer can be. Out of the box, the GEEZER looks like your typical 104 key keyboard. Thanks to the aluminum faceplate that surrounds most of the durable plastic body, the GEEZER generally looks, and more importantly, feels like a premium keyboard, weighing in at a little over 2 pounds. Because of its sturdy construction, the keyboard shows no indication that it's susceptible to bending, flexing, or twisting. On the back of the keyboard, along the top, are 2 rubber fold-out feet that will allow you to type in a flat or elevated stance. Like the keyboard's plastic body, the fold-out feet are tremendously thick and sturdy. Folding the feet in and out gives you a very satisfying click that feels like it's going to last the lifetime of the keyboard. Along the bottom of the keyboard are 2 small rubber pads as well as indentations where the palm rest connects to the keyboard. As I've said in previous keyboard reviews, I would have liked to see more than 2 rubber pads on the actual keyboard, but due to the keyboard's weight, the keyboard doesn't slide around when you're typing on it. In addition, the GEEZER comes with an included palm rest that features 3 additional rubber pads that help the keyboard grip whatever surface it's resting on. While the inclusion of a palm rest certainly makes typing on the keyboard more comfortable than without it, there are 2 issues that I'd like to bring up. First off, the palm rest itself is simply a molded piece of plastic. While the ribbing on the back of the palm rest makes it less susceptible to flexing and bending, I do have concerns that the plastic tabs which connect the palm rest to the keyboard may weaken and break over time if a user is constantly removing and reinserting the palm rest. Secondly, I feel as though the palm rest is too short. I don't have gigantic hands, but I found that when using the keyboard with the included palm rest, my wrists still ended up resting on my desk instead of the palm rest itself. Of course, your experience may vary compared to mine depending on the size of your hands, but it is something to consider for keyboard users with large hands. Sitting on top of the keyboard's case is a braided USB cable measuring in at a little over 5 feet 1 inch, with an included Velcro strap to help you rein in the length of the cable. The USB cable ends at a very beefy USB plug that, while I can certainly appreciate how sturdy the USB plug is, I'm personally not a fan of the skull imagery that GEEZER has chosen to employ on this particular keyboard. Looking to the front, the keyboard has a bezel-less design on the left and right sides, while the top and bottom employ medium-sized bezels. Despite the GEEZER's 104 key layout, the keyboard has a fairly small footprint. Speaking of keys, the GEEZER comes with double-shot ABS standard-sized keycaps. Underneath those keycaps, you'll find blue mechanical switches. Despite my efforts in removing the keycaps and examining the switches themselves, I was unable to determine who the manufacturer of these particular switches is, as whoever makes these switches decided to imprint their logo in incredibly small print against a clear backdrop. What I can say about these particular blue switches is that they feel very similar to other Cherry MX Blue clones that I've reviewed in the past, particularly on the Kumara K552. After spending about a week typing on the GEEZER, my final impression on these blue switches is that they sound and feel very similar to actual Cherry MX Blue switches. On the top row of the keyboard, you'll find a variety of multimedia keys. From the F1 key to the F11 key, you can access your computer, homepage, calculator, play, pause, stop, and skip tracks forwards and backwards, as well as access your favorite webpage and email. The F12 key, in conjunction with the function key, is reserved for controlling the 12 lighting modes that come programmed on the GEEZER. Take a look at some of the lighting modes offered on the GEEZER. On the bottom row is a Windows lock key, an essential inclusion to any keyboard marketing itself as a gaming keyboard. In addition, the GEEZER has 26 anti-ghosting keys and generally covers all of the keys that you would access with your left hand. In terms of looks and layout, I really like this keyboard except for when it comes to two things. One, I'm not a huge fan of the font GEEZER chose to go with on this keyboard, and two, I'm not a fan of the plastic housing placed over the numlock caps lock indicator lights. Admittedly, these two things are very small things to nitpick about, and considering the standard size keycaps that come on the GEEZER, at least one of the issues I have can be addressed by picking up a set of replacement keys. All in all, I really like this keyboard. As my first experience with the keyboard from GEEZER, I have to say that I like the look and feel of this particular keyboard, and I love hearing the click-like of the GEEZER while it's in use. I can't say right now how durable these unknown switches are compared to genuine cherry blue switches, or even compared to other cherry blue clones, but I currently haven't run into any issues with faulty stems. The GEEZER Backlit Mechanical Gaming Keyboard is a well-featured keyboard with an excellent build quality that I would consider purchasing for $66. If you've considered picking up a GEEZER but haven't had the opportunity to personally see and use one of their keyboards, hopefully you found this review helpful. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I would like to extend a huge thank you to ECOOPRO and GEEZER for sending me out this keyboard review sample. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you have suggestions for other keyboards or tech I should check out, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.